Like, got Aaliyah Boss in the face and then, brushed back. Got her in the eye. And a lot of people are wondering is like, first of all, why was this not an ejection? And should it be a suspension? In my opinion, the reason why it's not an ejection in the game is because there is
Watch the replay closely because this play has become the center of a major debate. Some viewers believe Brittney Griner's contact with Aaliyah Boston was not accidental, and they argue that the fact she was not ejected says a lot about how the league handles certain incidents. During the Unrivaled game, Griner's hand made contact with Boston's face and eye, but the officials ruled it a common basketball foul rather than a more serious violation. That decision has led to widespread discussion among fans. What makes this play different from a typical hard foul, according to critics, is that they believe the contact was not a legitimate attempt to make a play on the ball. They argue the replay raises questions about whether stronger action should have been taken. Others, however, believe the officials made the best decision they could in real time. As a result, the incident has become another example in the ongoing debate about consistency, player safety, and how similar plays should be judged in women's basketball.
The question is now, should there be a suspension for Brittney Griner? And now that is a different question. Should there be a suspension for Brittney Griner? For me, the answer is yes. Because the reason why, in real time, you could definitely chalk this up as being unintentional. But then after the ball's nowhere to, Griner makes no attempt to grab the ball here. Like, Griner is nowhere near the ball. She's not within a meter of the ball. The ball is not within a meter of her.
Critics point to the replay as evidence that Brittney Griner was not making a genuine play on the ball. They note that the ball appears to be well away from the contact by the time her hand reaches Aaliyah Boston's face, leading some viewers to believe the play was not a normal basketball action. They also point to the previous possession, where Boston and Griner became tangled while battling for position. Because the two players have a history of physical matchups dating back to their WNBA meetings, some fans believe that earlier contact increased the tension between them. Boston is known for playing with her arms high during post moves and drop steps, a style that is generally considered legal but often creates physical contact. Griner has also built a reputation for playing a physical game. Some viewers believe the contact on this play was a reaction to what happened just moments earlier rather than something planned before the game. Even so, the officials ruled it a common foul instead of a flagrant foul and allowed play to continue. That decision has become the center of the debate, with many fans arguing over whether the replay should have led to a stronger response.
That is a bit of a concern because they're not going to be. Because it is Aaliyah Boston. Realistically, because it's Aaliyah Boston, it's not going to be seen as a concern because, unfortunately, because of proximity to Caitlin Clark, amongst the WNBA media, it's fair game. Aaliyah Boston is fair game. Like, it's Aaliyah Boston's fair game, Lexi Hull's fair game, Sophie Cunningham's fair game. You are allowed to go out and try to hurt an Indiana Fever player. Heck, Sydney Colson was fair game when JC Sheldon jumped through her knee. Like, the ball,
Critics argue that this is where the perceived double standard becomes difficult to ignore. Unrivaled has promoted itself as a league that puts player safety first. The league has often been careful with injuries, choosing to rest players with even minor concerns to avoid making injuries worse. That approach has been part of its message about protecting athletes and creating a healthier basketball environment. However, some fans believe that approach was not reflected in this incident. They argue that if a player makes contact with another player's face in what appears to be a retaliatory move, the league should treat it as a serious player safety issue instead of simply calling it part of normal basketball. From their perspective, the response does not match the league's stated commitment to protecting players. Some critics also believe the WNBA has faced similar concerns over inconsistent discipline, and they argue that Unrivaled is following the same pattern because many of the media members and basketball voices covering the new league have long covered the WNBA as well. Whether that criticism is fair remains a matter of debate, but it has become a common topic among fans discussing player safety and league consistency.
If Aaliyah caught Brittney Griner with this, I fully believe that Aaliyah would be suspended by Unrivaled. I fully believe it. But because in the psychotic world of the WNBA, Fever players are fair game. Whether that's fair game from commentators, fair game from the media, fair game from other players. You are allowed to attack their characters. You are allowed to attack them as people. You are allowed to attack their looks. You're allowed to attack their whatever about. I'm not even going to say criticize. You're allowed to attack their skill set. You're allowed to attack where they're from. You're allowed to attack where they were born. You're allowed to attack their views.
Some critics believe Indiana Fever players are treated differently from other players in the league. They argue that the issue goes beyond physical contact on the court and includes the way Fever players are discussed and criticized. During Caitlin Clark's rookie season, many fans pointed to hard fouls, hip checks, and late contact that were often described as normal physical basketball or welcome to the league moments. They also point to incidents involving players like Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson as examples where they believe dangerous plays did not receive enough attention or punishment. Supporters of this view argue that a pattern has developed where Fever players face more physical play and harsher public criticism than others. They believe these players are more likely to have their character, appearance, backgrounds, or abilities questioned, while similar treatment involving players from other teams often receives stronger reactions. Whether people agree or disagree with that conclusion, the perception of inconsistent treatment has become a major topic of discussion among many women's basketball fans.
I don't think in general that something like this you could say, oh yeah, is worthy of a suspension. But when it comes to Unrivaled, and it being this buddy league and players, you don't actually have to play. We'll just you can pay to train. You don't have to play. This isn't a real sports league type thing. At the end of the day, it is like, it's one of those things where.
Now ask yourself this question. If the roles had been reversed and Aaliyah Boston had made the same contact with Brittney Griner's face, would Unrivaled have handled the situation the same way? Some fans believe the answer would be no. They argue there would have been immediate discussions about a suspension, with much of the attention focused on whether Boston had crossed the line and whether stronger action was needed to protect players. They also believe the conversation would have emphasized player safety and respect for veteran players. Instead, because the incident involved Griner and Boston, the discussion has shifted in a different direction. Rather than focusing only on the contact itself, some people are debating whether Boston's physical style of play somehow makes this type of response understandable. Others argue that this is the wrong way to look at player safety. They believe a player's legal but physical style should not determine how dangerous contact is judged. From that perspective, every incident should be reviewed based on the action itself, with the same standards applied to every player regardless of who is involved.
It's not just a little small bit of history. Like, we've seen Brittney Griner swing elbows. We've seen Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston does Aaliyah Boston things. When she drops steps, she keeps her arms high, and it's very like. And the thing is, like, it's ironically, based on the rules of basketball, it is a perfectly legal elbow to the face. Like, she's in her cylinder. There's nothing wrong with it in the rules of basketball, but she does elbow people in the face. Let's be very clear here. It is Aaliyah Boston absolutely will hit someone with the elbow legal elbow to the face.
Aaliyah Boston has always played a physical style of basketball. When she makes post moves and drop steps, she often keeps her elbows high, and there are times when opponents get hit in the face. However, under basketball rules, those plays are generally considered legal because they happen within her natural playing space, or cylinder. Boston's style can be tough to defend, but many of those actions are viewed as part of normal physical basketball rather than illegal contact. The argument for why Brittney Griner was not ejected during the game also has some logic. Officials have to make split-second decisions without the benefit of slow-motion replay or multiple camera angles. In real time, they may have believed the contact was accidental or were not completely sure about Griner's intent. In those situations, referees often avoid ejecting a player unless the foul is clearly intentional. However, after the game the situation looks different because everyone can review the replay from several angles. Some viewers believe the video shows Griner did not make a clear attempt to play the ball and instead made direct contact with Boston's face and eye. Because of that, the discussion shifts from what officials saw during the game to whether the league should review the play afterward. The key question is whether Unrivaled will decide the contact deserves further discipline, such as a suspension, or whether it will treat the incident as finished and move on without additional action.
Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think that Griner should be suspended? Do you guys think Brittney Griner or Aaliyah Boston deserved it? If you think the latter, genuinely crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment.
What makes this situation so frustrating is that Unrivaled had a chance to show it would handle player safety better than other leagues. Instead, many people feel it is repeating the same problems they have seen in the WNBA. Critics say the rules are not enforced equally, some players seem to get treated differently, and the league often ignores actions that should be reviewed. This creates frustration because inconsistent decisions can hurt the league's credibility and make fans question whether everyone is being treated fairly. The incident involving Brittney Griner and Aaliyah Boston is about more than just one hard foul. Some fans believe it reflects a larger pattern in women's basketball where physical play is accepted until someone gets hurt. They also feel that certain players receive more criticism while others receive more protection, regardless of what actually happened during the game. Critics argue that both the WNBA and Unrivaled should focus on enforcing the rules consistently instead of allowing outside narratives to influence decisions. Many new fans started following women's basketball because of Caitlin Clark and the increased attention she brought to the sport. Those fans watched several games where Clark took hard contact that was often called normal physical play. Now, after seeing Boston get hit in the face with only a common foul being called, some of those same fans believe they are seeing the same pattern continue in Unrivaled. They feel the league should do more to protect players and make it clear that dangerous plays are not acceptable. Some people argue that Aaliyah Boston also plays a physical style of basketball. She often uses her body, keeps her arms high, and creates contact in the paint. However, supporters of Boston say there is an important difference between legal physical play and making contact with another player's face. They believe Boston's style stays within the normal rules of basketball, while Griner's action looked more like retaliation than a genuine attempt to make a basketball play. The rivalry between Griner and Boston also adds more attention to the incident. The two players have had physical battles in previous WNBA games, so there is already competitive tension between them. While strong rivalries are a normal part of sports, many believe they should never be used to excuse dangerous contact or prevent the league from taking action when necessary. Some fans think Unrivaled should review the play and consider a one-game suspension to show that player safety is a priority and that every player, including stars, will be held to the same standard. Others believe the league will likely take no further action and that the incident will soon be forgotten. Critics argue that these situations could be avoided if the rules were enforced the same way every time, no matter which players are involved. The debate now is simple: should Brittney Griner be suspended based only on what happened during the play? Those who support a suspension believe the contact to Boston's face was not a legitimate basketball play and deserves punishment. Others may see it as part of a physical game. Fans continue to debate the incident, and many believe that consistent rule enforcement is the only way to build trust and improve the future of women's basketball.